what I'm doing in my classroom is for the students to have ownership over what they're reading and what they're writing. I don't go in their bins. I don't touch them. They're their property. They're their books. If ever I see a child who has books that are inappropriate, way too hard, way too easy, I'll call them over and have a mini conference with them. But I don't ever go in their bins because they know what books they've chosen and they've developed a relationship with those stories. And some of them choose new books all the time, and some children hold on to the same books for quite a while, and that's okay with me because that's just helping build fluency. What I've done to make the Daily 5 work into our schedule in my classroom is I've broken it into 3 components: the read to self, the work on writing, and the word work. And this is my daily plan. This is our schedule. I teach a lesson, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. That'll be a read aloud, or a shared reading, or skill work, whatever we're focusing on in class. And then the students go work on read to self, and I pull a guided reading group. And then I do another mini lesson, 5 to 15 minutes, depending on what I'm working on, maybe a word family, maybe a fluency activity. And then after that, the children go work on writing, and I pull another guided reading group. And then again, I do a third mini lesson, 5 to 15 minutes. And I always try to have this lesson somehow end with something that has to do with our literacy center. So I might be talking about story elements or, character development or something before the students go work on word work, and I start pulling my third reading group. This whole process, I start at about 9:45 in the morning, and we end at 11:25. So I do have a nice big chunk of time. And I found that following the routine and building the stamina the way the Daily 5 explains, they really truly are able to stay on this routine and be in read to self for 20 to 30 minutes, depending how the schedule goes, work on writing for 20 to 30 minutes, and then do word work to finish out our morning. I have also designed it in order of volume. So I have the quieter activities in the morning when they are a little more focused, and I have the noisier activities planned right before lunch because they are starting to get a little squirrely. Several teachers have asked what I do for behavior modification, or whatever you want to call it, during this time. Because you're not walking around the room as much, you are giving them more independence. And this is the chart I use. It is not from the Daily 5. I found it on a website and I don't remember where, but I will try to find it. But basically, everyone starts their day off on green, and I've labeled it ready to learn. And from there, if I catch them being good, they can move up to good day, and in their binder at the end of the day on their behavior calendar, I'd write good day. If I catch them again, they move up to great job, and I'll write great job in their binder. If I catch them doing something really great again, they can move up to outstanding. And I use outstanding for treasure box, so you've had to have been caught doing something awesome 3 times in one day to earn treasure box. I found it to be a really positive reinforcement. You know, when you're looking around the room and you say, oh, so-and-so, go move your clip up, you're doing such a great job, it kind of piques everybody else's ears and they want to know what's going on. If I do have a student who I've had to redirect, or they're off task several times or whatever, I tell them to move their clip down, and it goes to think about it. And at that point, that student is on restriction, I call it in my classroom. And restriction basically means you will be sitting in your desk doing your work until you have earned back up to go and sit on the floor for centers or whatever activity we're working on. I have found that having the clip go down to something called think about it is a much more positive phrasing for it instead of go move your clip to red. I just don't like that connotation. And if I do have a student who gets back on track and they are ready to learn, I do move their clip back up. If I have a student, though, who goes to think about it and they end the day and they still haven't been able to get back on track, that would be when I would make a notation in their binder about whatever behavior they've been, having trouble with that day. I think that this system is working for me right now because it's easy. I don't have to do anything. I tell the student, go move your clip up. I see what you're doing. It's great. Please go move your clip down. You need to think about it for a while. It's an easy system for me. It's working. I know that there's a couple teachers at my school that are using it, and it seems to be working for them. And I think that the kids are responding because instead of just getting, a star in their binder or a smiley in their binder, when they move their clip up, I'm actually writing the words, good day, great job, outstanding, and they really are excited to see that in their binder. I've been teaching for about 13 years, and I think that the Daily 5 and the way I've modified it to meet my needs has probably been the most philosophically changing thing I've done in my classroom. I'm not sure if that's a word. But for me, it's meeting the needs of my students, and it's meeting my needs so I can work with them one-on-one and get my assessments done and get my groups done. And they're also becoming much more passionate readers. They're excited to read. They love that they have their book bin and they know what books are inside of it, and they know that they're just right for them and they can read them. It's building self-esteem in reading. I don't have anyone in my class right now that says I can't read. All of my kids, if you ask them, are you a good reader, they will say yes. And I think it's because the components of this program really, truly build self-esteem as a student. They know that they can read to self for 20 minutes, and they can do it, and they feel successful. They know that they can work on writing for 20 minutes, and they feel successful. They know that they can work in word work for 20 minutes, and they feel successful. And I was very concerned. I have a few students that are very, off task frequently, and I have found that through using the Daily 5 procedures, I haven't had to deal with that as much. And they're excited because they can sit on the floor and they can lay down on their belly, or they want to, or whatever. But as long as they're working, they're doing a great job, and I really love it. I started using the Daily 5 right after winter vacation, so it was the start of our third quarter of the year. And in this quarter, I've seen 2 students, at least so far, go from below level to on-level readers, and I really attribute a lot of that to just the time they have spent reading, using their reading skills, building their strategies, and being able to sit and read and be in books to be able to move them forward. And I think it's a very powerful thing when they can just sit and read books, because a lot of times at home they don't have a quiet place to sit and read books. They don't have books to read. So I think that a huge part of this is not, oh, we're just going to sit on the floor and read books. It's giving them the tools to build that stamina to apply the things that we're teaching in that setting so they can progress as readers. Well, thank you for watching the latest Elementary Teacher Resources podcast. And like always, if you still have questions, feel free to email me at info@elementaryteacherresources.com. If you have specific Daily 5 questions, you can also hop over to my website, and the address is floating by right now, and you can post questions and other teachers or myself can answer them, and it's for all to see, so it's really helpful for all us to work together. But I think that's about it for now, and I hope that this helped, and I will see you again soon. Bye! I think that's it. I want to go eat my bagel. Can you see me? What was I going to say? It was like right here. What else do I need to talk about? 'Cause I'm gonna get home and know I forgot something.